Hello everybody, this is the Buffalo Trace lamp. I want to inset that Buffalo nickel into the base there like I was showing you in a preview. I actually had a problem with the router and ended up beveling this edge. I came up with the idea of putting a Buffalo nickel in there and insetting it. So I've started out by drilling a 1/2-inch hole with a spade bit to get it started. It's not quite big enough, so I'm going to get this lined up and then I'll use my X-Acto knife to just trim it out. And that way I can set that in, and that way I'll have the hole all set before I stain the board. Once it's all stained, then I'll come back and I'll set the nickel in here and glue it in place. So just wanted to show you a quick update, and I'll be back later when I'm ready to do more. Thanks. Alright, welcome back. So, turns out I was able to use the spade bit and just wiggle it around a little bit and get it to clear out where I want it to. So, I've got the Buffalo nickel in there, and that's going to sit in there. Then I'm going to set the bottle on like that, so you're going to get a nice little extra treat with the Buffalo nickel in there to hide where I had a mistake with the wood. So, looks pretty good. And that's it for now, kiddies. Alright, welcome back everybody. Today we'll be doing the Buffalo Trace 750 milliliter. See, I've already drilled a hole in the bottom of the bottle. I finished my base. As I mentioned earlier, I had made a mistake on it, so I actually did a 45 on it and made a spot where I'm going to actually insert a Buffalo nickel in there. So that'll be going on today. Power cord, the felt for the bottom, got a lampshade, this one Home Depot, got that there. Going with the brass color, so lamp socket. I got a little riser about a 1/2 inch here, top of the Buffalo Trace cork with the hole drilled through it. Piece of my threaded rod. I've got, see if you can see, okay, so I've got a rubber washer, steel washer, 2 nuts, a star washer, and a grommet that goes in there. And this one I mentioned I want to do a little different, so I've got next to a distiller at Tarpon Springs Distillery. Told me I can go on Amazon and find the distiller's kit, so I was able to find the cracked corn, the brewer's malt rye, and the brewer's malt. So these are the 3 grains I'm going to put in the bottle. I wanted to try it on this one, so that's what I'm going to do. So I have my grains. I was able to buy this kit, so I think that'll give us a nice contrast in there for the internal filling of the bottle. So that's what we're going to be working on today, so I'll be back in a few minutes. Thanks. Alright, so we're going to start on the base today. Let's see. There we go. Alright, so we're going to start on the base today. So first step I need to do, got my Buffalo nickel. I'm going to put it in the base, and I did notice that I didn't actually get it centered. Shame on me, but that's okay. This was my first attempt. I don't know why I didn't get it centered, but I didn't. So I'll live with it. I'll just make it different. So anyways, I drilled a hole for this. I just gotta get my nickel lined up, and then I can put it in there. I'm gonna need my hammer, piece of wood, I made it so it's tight, so then you get, there you go, you can see it. So there's the Buffalo nickel set into the base. And when I do the next one, I'll make sure it's centered, but for now, that's okay. First pass, don't mind. So for my threaded rod, I can just start it with putting on one of the nuts. So right now I'm just trying to line things up. And let's get that started. There we go. We'll pull it apart with the Loctite on later, but right now I just want to get this thing, figure out where it's actually going to be. I want to get in through the bottle, get it all lined up, figure out where it's going to have to be tightened to, so I can start putting the grains in there. So big washer goes on the bottom here, thread rod goes up through. Get that. And then, oh, gonna I got some rubber washers. I'm gonna put the rubber washer on next. I'm hoping that will fix so nothing comes through the hole when I'm using like grains and stuff. Again, remember when you're turning the bottle on, don't slide it too much, so you'll mess up your finish. Put my cork in the bottle. There we go. Got my little riser. You got the base for the lamp socket. You remember you're gonna do the little set screw just so you can put it on there. This is what I want to make sure this is gonna be on nice and tight. And then the rest goes from the bottom of the bottle. Okay. Looks like I'm pretty close right from the start. Line it up. So that's what it's going to look like. Partially assembled once I put the top on, run cords and all that good stuff. So next step here, now that I got where I want it to be, I'll just play around with this alignment a little bit, make sure I'm good. And then I will start filling it with grains. That ought to be interesting since I've had so much fun in the past doing that. But we're going to give it a shot. Alright, thank you. Alright, I got to be a little more creative this time with filling this thing. So I've spaced it up so that the rod would go down. I actually taped the end of the rod off so nothing will go into it. So it gives me the whole opening of the bottle this time. I've got a funnel over here. That will actually work just fine on the bottle. There we go. So we're going to give it a shot. See how this works. Experiment number 1. Start with the cracked corn. See how it goes. Cross your fingers, people. And it's jammed up again already. Is it jammed up? Yeah, I should have known this would never work that easy. Let's get it. There we go. This is much better. Let me do it there. Alright. Let's keep going. Maybe add some corn. And poke it free. This is going much better than the last try I did coffee beans. Alright. I think that's good for corn. Might be too much. Let's see. So we want contrasting, so we're going to have to do the rye next, and then we'll do the brewer's malt last. So rye then malt. So just wondering if I need to take some of that corn out. I feel like I get too much corn, but let's try it. I'd say I get too much this time. Yep, too much. And I'm making a mess. I know you guys are shocked. I'll cut this out in production, don't worry guys. Alright, so we got too much rye. Good news is I can just dump it out and add what I want. Let's see how this is going to work. I'll just do it in there. Okay, people, lesson learned. Got to pre-measure it because you only get one shot at this. And once you start trying to take it out, it just mixes it and makes a hell of a mess. Alright, I'm going to cut, I'm going to fix this, and I'll be back. Alright, welcome back. This is going to be take 2. So, experiment was basically what happened the first try. I figured I put too much corn in, for one thing. And then trying to empty it out, you don't get a second chance to empty it out because it all gets mixed in. So, I have plenty of grains. I'll figure that, sort that stuff out later and have it for a new bottle later. So first, what I did is I marked where I want the corn height. It's going to be the rye height, and then the rest will be the malt. So that'll give me my 3 contrasting flavors, colors, and then that way I know when to stop when I'm filling this thing, so I don't overdo it like I did last time. So try this again. Stick my funnel back in. I'm going to go a little slower this time with the corn, so I get to my line. And I have to tamp it to get it in there. Once I go slow enough for it to go, I'll try to. That's going much better now. Like I said, I marked the tape where I really want it to be. I'll get fancier later. I can measure it out and weigh it and have an exact science going. But for now, it's trial and error. I don't know what you guys would be doing if you were doing this yourself. Everybody makes it look easy when they're doing it for a profession, but I don't want to kid you. We all start out the same way. Trial and error. Sometimes you just have to do it 2 or 3 times to get it right. It's just the way it works. Okay. So we're doing good there. So far, so good. Try some more. Get ahead of it and it'll actually fall. And get rid of it. It's my biggest advice is don't rush it. Trying to hit that mark. Don't want to get too much corn in there and go over. A little over is fine. Not too much. So, shake it just need a little more. Almost there on the corn. That should do it, which is encouraging because I have a lot of corn left. I can do a few of these. I'm very happy. Alright, again, not exact science. Close enough. Alright, let's see. I got some rye. Pull out the corn kernel out of there. Okay, that's that. I'll sort that out later, like I said. So let's go slowly with the rye. There we go. So I think with the rye I want to come a little higher than I had it marked because I want it to be above the decal. So, because if you look at it this way, remember be careful about turning it, you won't scratch your base, but I want to see more of the rye, so I think I want to get it up to the point to the transition of the bottle. I think that looks good. I'm going to stop there. I think that's good enough. I'm going to shake it a little bit, make sure it settles. And last but not least, I'm going to do the malt. Scissors. Vacuum packed for freshness. There we go. Rub the seal. what I do know is I'm going to need to fill this all the way up to the top because I need this to stay in place. So I'm going to have to put some in. I'll try the cork. I'll put the rod up through. Try the cork. You know, and then I'm going to have to take it out and add a few just to get it. But I want it really tight when I put it all together so that the grains don't move around. That's looking good. A couple more there. So we'll tweak it once we're done here. So, like I said, I put it on the board so I could let the rod go down below. And here we go again. There we go. I taped the end so the grain wouldn't go in the pipe, which is good. Now, I need to find, there's my cork. So I'm going to want to make sure I'm lined up. Careful when I turn. Stick my cork down. There we go. And I need this to be tight into the bottle. I don't want the grains to move. Alright, so I can see that I need to add a few more grains. So when I twisted it, it moved. That's what I wanted to know. So we can pick up the loose ones I dropped. Let's see if we can try doing this. This is probably not going to go away I planned it, but let's see. Oh, it's working. A little more. How are we doing? Yeah, we got room for a little bit more. Pick up some of these strays. See how they're doing. Okay, let's try again. Remember, people, you might want to do these 2 or 3 times on some of these steps. Let's see how we're doing. We have no movement. So what I'm going to do is try to add a couple more. Just because I know it'll compress. And I want to make sure it stays tight. I don't want the grains moving on it. I think that'll cause me bigger problems down the road when it settles a little bit. So they're going to compress, so I'm not worried about it. And it's a rubber cork, so it'll give a little bit. He says, I want this tight. That's better. Okay, so let's see if I get this turned where I want it. Alright. So now I'm going to turn this sucker upside down. Oh, there we go. I don't have to turn upside down. Alright, how are we doing here? Let's see. Let me pull these out of the way. Don't need my spacers anymore. Let's take a break here, people. Alright, so that went better than planned. My corn, my rye, my malt. I do like the looks of that. Get the 3 different colors. Get it all good, so now it's time to start working on tightening everything up. So I'll put the top on first, get all those pieces there tightened down. Then I'll turn it over and I'll work on the nuts. Get some Loctite on there as I do. So first things first. Slide my 1/2 inch. Put my lamp socket base in there. Try when I'm done, I want it nice and tight. So usually I use a leading rose. Let's see, where's my... I rearranged my workbench, people. So fine, okay, so alright, so first thing I'm going to do Let's tighten the top. Hold this threaded rod, turn this till it's tight. Once I've got it there, okay, then I need to tighten the set screw in the back. There we go. And I want the set screw to face the back of the lamp when I'm done. So I'm going to lay that back down for now. I'm working on it. I got a spacer under here to hold it. Take off these nuts. Hole is just a little tighter than my fingers. I can just, there we go, get that off. I don't have to take it all the way off. What I want to do is get my Loctite. I'm using the blue because I do want to eventually be able to take this apart if I have to fix anything. Just get some Loctite in there. A little dab will do you, as they say in the old days. Tighten that down. That will pick up the Loctite dot that I just put in there into the threads, which is perfect. Alright, so get this first nut in there. I got a 14 millimeter, making sure I'm lined up with the back like I want. On the socket, I'm holding that. I can use the socket to tighten it. Get it just a little bit tight. I want to make sure everything lines up properly. So, that looks good. Okay. As you can see, I've got plenty of Loctite in there. I'm going to cinch that down nice and tight. I'm going to do it by hand. Okay, so that tightens this sucker up. That's good. So everything's nice and tight. So now I'm going to put the second one on, which is literally just to hold the first nut on. See how easy I get with that one. Another little drop. Okay. Finger tight. That's not going anywhere. Alright. There you have the lamp is assembled with the grains in it. Now it's time for wiring. So clean up some stuff and I'll be back. Alright. I've put the grommet in there. There you go. You should be able to see that right in the center there. So now I've got my brown cord for this lamp. I need to. And guess what, people? I didn't drill a hole for the cord. Alright, we're back. So I drilled a hole. I forgot to drill it from the start. So I drilled him a hole. The cord can come through now. Pull it through enough, and I just want enough coming up through the bottle to do the lamp. So you can just twist these together. Try to keep it from twisting the cord and send it through. And no problem, went right through. Let me just pull this back for now. Alright, so now we got the socket, we got a wire. Let's pop all this out separately. So again, got a brass and a silver screw. Silver is your common or neutral. Brass is your hot. Hot is always in the center tab of the outlet. This shiny silver part is the neutral. That way if you happen to grab it, you're not grounded, you're not going to get a shock. And if you remember from other videos, one of these wires has ridges on it, that's the neutral, the other one is smooth. So that's how I know the difference. So I'm going to loosen these up. Make sure you loop it over there correctly. The loop goes in the direction that you're tightening so that it tightens when you tighten the screw. If you put it backwards, it untightens when you tighten the screw. There we go. That's that one. hot. Make a little loop. Put on the screw. You can use needle nose pliers if that works for you. Again, tighten it down, making sure the wire is tightening when you tighten it, nice and tight. You can then clip it into these little clips they have on the built into this base. The ones I have a little clip, so the wires clip under there, and then you can push it down through the bottle. So you have to pull it a little bit. Again, I always do this so that my chain is on the side of the lamp. Make sure you didn't lose the cardboard tube. That goes over next. That's what insulates it. Also prevents from shocking. So it goes down, and then you got the top, which is going to snap in. It's going to line up with that pull chain hole. Line it up, and then you're going to push it until it snaps. There it is. Make sure you're in nice and tight and straight. Okay. Now we need a light bulb. I can pull my tape off that I use for marking. Basically, we're almost there. Got a bottle, our grains, looks lined up pretty good. My top on, and let me find the bulb. Okay, in the spirit of Halloween, I got a bulb that's actually for Halloween. And if you flip the switch, it's on, so it's working. Find the switch. It starts to do the Halloween flicker, giving it a spooky effect. So I think that's pretty cool. It'll go on and off at random. Okay, so let's undo that. That's just a test bulb. I gotta get my Edison bulb. And I think we're going to go with this lampshade. Yeah, that's gonna look good. Alright, so let's get my scissors. Alright, so we get all that done. Next thing is I'm going to do my felt for the bottom. So I'm just going to put it down there. Put my lamp on. Try not to waste as much as I possibly can. Just use a pencil to draw a line. I think I told you once before, when I'm cutting this, I want to cut it inside the lines so it's smaller. So it fits on the base really good. So just go a little bit, like 1/8 of an inch inside the line. Go around. I know this is extremely exciting for you guys. Alright, so I have my round felt base. I'm going to peel it and stick it. I just want to do a couple of things real quick. I want to sign it and number it. So that's it. But I'll put the base on there. I'll get myself a nice Edison bulb, the lampshade, and there you go. Buffalo Trace in the bag. Thanks for playing.